Thank you, Mark. And although they've changed the stadium a little bit here in recent times, not quite as intimidating as it used to be in the olden days, with the pitch a lot further away now from the fans. One thing never changes, the bubbles. We're looking through like a little bubble storm at the moment. It's all carefully orchestrated here. I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, the song. Joe Cole has had a rapturous welcome from the fans as he makes his return to the West Ham team, playing on the left-hand side. I'll give you the confirmed lineups in a moment. He's wearing the number 26 shirt that he had all those years ago as a 17-year-old. And in this first half, Manchester United with the ball are playing from left to right, just down below us. Vidic, one of the 6 changes in this Manchester United team, playing the ball through the back four, and then we bring in Graham Taylor for the first time.
Yeah, both sides, both managers, should I say, electing not to play their strongest sides. A lot of people would say, that is acceptable. It's a shame from the FA Cup point of view, but that's how it is these days, and it'll be very interesting just to see whether any changes are made in terms of the substitutions, because both substitutions, particularly Manchester United, are very, very strong.
Arguably, actually, Manchester, and let me apologise straight away here if I say United when it's Manchester. Just simply, I can't change old habits, I'm afraid. I know West Ham are also United, but anyway, Manchester United have arguably picked a slightly stronger team than West Ham, who've named 3 or 4 of their regulars on the bench. Manchester United playing Raphael in midfield this evening, Smalling at right back. Scholes plays a little ball through midfield. Here's a chance for Cleverley to set it up for Hernandez. It's just in front of him though, and out comes Jääskeläinen. So the West Ham team with Jääskeläinen in goal. The back four tonight is Demel, Tompkins, James Collins, who returns after suspension, and young Danny Potts is playing at left back. O'Brien is injured. Danny Potts, the 19-year-old who's been recalled from a loan from Colchester, is the son of Steve Potts, who played all those games here for West Ham as a defender. The rest of the side, Diarra, interestingly, the French international, makes his debut for West Ham. He was signed and then got an injury almost immediately. Collison, the Welshman, also in midfield. Nolan, the captain, back after suspension. Vaste, and then Joe Cole and Carlton Cole. Manchester United with De Gea, no rest for him. He played all the games over the holiday period, but he's in goal tonight. The back four, Smalling, Vidic, the captain, Evans and Butner. Butner in for Evra. Then Raphael in midfield with Scholes, the only FA Cup winner, in the starting lineup, and cleverly Kagawa playing behind Hernandez and Welbeck. Martin Atkinson's the referee. Vidic plays the ball forward, looking for Raphael. Potts, the young man at left back, taking no chances, concedes the throw.
Game, as it is with most games, taking a little bit of time to settle in. Pretty even, not a lot happened at the moment. A lot of players getting a touch of the ball, and we'll suddenly see whether in fact one side can start to take charge, but that hasn't happened at the moment.
Cleverly linking well with Kagawa. Kagawa looks for possibilities down the right-hand side. Raphael steps in, and now it's Smalling deep inside the West Ham half. The layoff has gone off Joe Cole, who's appealing for a West Ham throw-in, but the linesman flags against him. So we're settling down nicely here for this 5:15 kick-off. West Ham against Manchester United. Manchester United, who won the FA Cup a record 11 times but haven't won the trophy for 9 years. Move breaks down from Manchester United. Now it's Collison bringing the ball forward, chips the ball down this near side, looking for Carlton Cole. Vidic having a few problems initially there against Carlton Cole, and then eventually gets it back for De Gea. Remember coming here 2 years ago with Graham and watching West Ham and Manchester United in the Premier League, when Vidic was very lucky in that game not to be sent off, I remember. West Ham went into a 2-0 lead in the first half with a couple of penalties from Noble, who's on the bench tonight, and then Rooney turned it around with a hat-trick, but then of course snarled at the cameras as well, despite the euphoria of getting the hat-trick. So that was 2 seasons ago. Of course, since then West Ham have been back in another division. They got through the playoffs and began this season brightly, but they needed that win against Norwich on the 1st of January just to settle themselves down again after a little bit of a dip. Hernandez playing the ball into Evans, and now Scholes. If in doubt, give it to Scholes, sitting in midfield, always available. Back again to Evans, and now Vidic. Rio Ferdinand, by the way, former West Ham man, is on the bench. Carrick's not here tonight. We understand David Beckham might be here as well, watching the game, so we'll look to see whether there are any television pictures of him sitting in the stand. Local lad, of course, watching his former Premier League team. Manchester United have had the ball almost for the last 2 minutes. Scholes again. Scholes turning away from Nolan. West Ham fans trying to lift things up for their side here. Not getting the ball with Butner down the left-hand side. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0 in the FA Cup on 5 Live. It's Johnny Evans now just inside the West Ham half, and nobody coming towards him, so Evans can go forward. Evans now looking to Raphael, who tumbles over, surrounded by West Ham players, but they don't get the ball. Ball played into the area to Danny Welbeck, close to the dead ball line. Welbeck with good close control, chips the ball to Raphael. It's loose from him, but Welbeck turns it into a decent ball. Now Scholes again. It's all Manchester United possession so far. West Ham pressing but unable to get the ball back. Back now with United once more, and Cleverley into Kagawa. Kagawa's return ball to Cleverley, drilled into Welbeck. More good control from the England player. Butner over on the left. Hernandez was in the penalty area. Manchester United keeping it in a deeper position. Welbeck once more. Very lively start here from Manchester United. Raphael to Welbeck. Smalling available down the right. West Ham at the moment unable to get any kind of possession inside the first 5 minutes. Welbeck getting lots of touches. Finds Evans and now Paul Scholes. Scholes with a little chip towards Raphael, taken on the chest by the Brazilian. Raphael doesn't get his cross in at the end of a sustained period of possession for Manchester United.
I did a count, Mike, and not making this up, 57 passes there. Manchester United controlling the ball all of the time, although not getting any end product as yet, but they actually just dominated the ball.
If you're coming away from games, by the way, I will remind you of the main stories in the FA Cup today. Dominated by Luton and Macclesfield. I mean, Macclesfield had a fantastic 2-1 victory over Cardiff City, and Luton beat Wolves by 1-0. But we thought we might have a shot with the holders. Chelsea, they were a goal down early on against Southampton, but they ended up winning the match 5-1. Spurs beat Coventry 3-0, and that repeated the old 87 final. In the early kick-off, Brighton got the better of Newcastle 2-0. Hastings lost 4-1 at Middlesbrough. And here at Upton Park, it's West Ham 0, Manchester United 0, and Manchester United give the ball away. Potts down this left-hand side. Now Joe Cole. Ball played into feet, looking for Nolan on the edge of the penalty area. Defender Evans does well, and De Gea clears. There's a little bit of pressure on the Manchester United goal. Headed back by Tompkins, the centre-back. Manchester United, though, sort themselves out in midfield. Scholes and Cleverley have already taken charge of midfield. Scholes again. He's the only player in this starting lineup from Manchester United who's won the FA Cup. Robin van Persie, of course, did win the FA Cup against Manchester United as a substitute for Arsenal, and he's on the bench just in case. But it's understandable maybe that Sir Alex Ferguson has shuffled the pack here, bearing in mind over the next 2 weeks he plays Liverpool and Spurs in the Premier League. And of course, unlike last season, he's still in the Champions League and he's top of the Premier League. Kagawa now, back in the side after a recent injury, looking to release Butner. But in steps Demel at the back, and West Ham just haven't got going yet in midfield. Demel's run a long way with the ball, right across the field, Avaste rather, right across the field, and it's gone back to Potts. Potts chips it into Carlton Cole. Vidic puts good pressure on Carlton Cole. Can West Ham get moving? No. Raphael wins the ball, and it squirts back into Manchester United's midfield. And here's the counter-attack on now. Cleverley feeds Butner over on that left-hand side, charging forward. Kagawa ahead of him, slides it down the left-hand side. Hernandez on the ball. Back to Butner once more. Hadn't had to do any defending at all yet, Butner at the left back. Butner linking with Scholes. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0. 8 minutes gone in the first half. And it's been 85% possession so far from Manchester United. Scholes, little chip. Smalling makes the run. Smalling's ball in! Oh, and Hernandez stretched and just couldn't quite meet it. It's still in play over on the left. Kaggle was there. Cleverley's in the penalty area. Ball is with Butner again, square to Welbeck. Manchester United really threatening here Jaskalainen's goal. United play the ball into the area, and it's scuffed away by Collins to this near side. Just heard the Manchester United fans there above the West Ham fans, and of course their allocation of tickets is greater tonight.
All Manchester United. They've dominated the game now. They're coming in, they're moving the ball about much quicker. The pace of the ball is quicker than that of West Ham's, and they are really in charge of this game.
Following a throw-in, Welbeck with a tap back to Smalling, and now Welbeck easily gets away from Diarra, plays it to Cleverley on the edge of the penalty area. It's very tight for Manchester United. Cleverley tries to thread the ball down the right-hand side. It's well controlled by Smalling. Lots of white shirts in the penalty area for Manchester United. West Ham hanging on here. United a bit loose that time. As they clear West Ham, there's Carlton Cole very isolated, can't get hold of it, and it's out of play down this near side. West Ham haven't got into the game yet.
They haven't at all, and they're not going to do if Manchester United keep possession of the ball in the manner that they have done since the kick-off. They, as I said earlier, they're moving the ball about quickly. It's not a slow possession. They move it sharply, It's move, get it, give it, move, and that's exactly what Manchester United are doing. What they need to do is add the end product to all of their possession and get a few shots in.
It's a beautifully mild evening for early January here at Upton Park. The blocks of flats over on the far side, providing very good vision, I'm sure, through binoculars for many people over there watching this game under the lights at Upton Park. And now it's West Ham with some rare possession. Nolan can't control it, and Manchester United put good pressure on the ball there. And now Scholes, who always seems to still have so much time, finds Butner over on the Manchester United left. That pass from Butner was too short towards Cleverley. Scholes goes jumping in there with Nolan, and there's a break on here for West Ham. Carlton Cole threads it down the right-hand side. Here's a chance for West Ham to cross. The ball is pulled back far too high and deep, with Joe Cole coming into the far post. It overreached him though, and Manchester United don't clear very well. Potts now the left back, with Joe Cole still hoping to get possession. Potts hammers the ball at Evans and wins a corner for West Ham. So after all the early pressure from Manchester United, West Ham have a corner left-hand side.
First time of pressure by West Ham. They picked up the corner. It's a situation now of delivery and being able and stopping all the pushing and pulling that is going on in the penalty area.
Nolan always crucial in these set pieces. In comes, got a header down and just found a way off the line from Manchester United, and they really didn't come to terms with that. De Gea was struggling there, didn't get any kind of a fist on the ball, and the ball is turned away finally off a West Ham player for a goal kick.
Yeah, I'm not so certain. I thought it was probably cleared off the line twice there. I'm not so certain about
Diarra's
that.
header initially,
Scholes,
and then it was off the line from Scholes. De Gea was nowhere jumping for it at all. He just left it there to his defenders to take responsibility, and there was a little bit of panic in the back there from Manchester United, and West Ham fans will be encouraged by that. As United fire the ball downfield, they don't give Hernandez a chance really in the air, and the ball breaks to the ever-reliable Jääskeläinen. Many of these West Ham players have been associated with Sam Allardyce, of course, through his managerial career, none more so than Jääskeläinen and Nolan, and now Hernandez playing the ball forward, and it's well controlled by Collins. West Ham clear. Again, there's only Cole downfield. Vidic lets it bounce. Cole will put pressure on the Serbian defender, the captain of Manchester United, slides the ball back to De Gea, and that clearance hasn't gone very far at all. Doesn't reach the halfway line. West Ham suddenly encouraged by that little bit of excitement, trying to get in the game here. Manchester United clear to the far side of the field, and now the break is on as Butner takes it. Evra, having played all of the games over the holiday period, is rested, but he'll be desperate for United to get through. He's never played in an FA Cup final. And now Scholes inside the centre circle, biding his time. Then into Cleverley. Cleverley has three West Ham players around him. Now a bit more height from Scholes this time, testing Collins in the air, and he just about gets there in the air, heads it to the right-hand side, and Demel clears, and it doesn't reach Nolan, but it's a mistake at the back from Butner, and Vastey now going forward. Referee's played an advantage there, like a foul from Scholes. Collison is charging forward, shot driven in over the bar. Any words with Scholes? A passing word from Martin Atkinson. Wasn't a great challenge though, Graham.
It wasn't a great challenge. I think most football followers will know that it was a Paul Scholes challenge, and quite honestly, I don't care what anybody says. When they say he doesn't know how to tackle, I'm afraid that he's done too many of those tackles throughout his career for me.
Martin Atkinson did well though for West Ham. He sensed that they had possession and they had a possibility. Collinson though couldn't keep his effort down, and now Scholes on the ball once more. Scholes carefully on the halfway line, feeding Cleverley. Cleverley must really enjoy playing alongside Scholes in midfield, and now Welbeck. Back again to Scholes. He's always the outball, Scholes. Welbeck again. Manchester United playing from left to right in this first half. 13 minutes gone, 0-0. Cleverley now. Butler trying to stay on side down the left. Now Scholes once more. Scholes with an excellent ball to Raphael. Smalling's available down the right. And it wasn't a great layoff that from Raphael. Immediately acknowledges that, and it's a West Ham throw-in by the corner flag. David Beckham is here with family watching. Remember watching him play here for Manchester United against West Ham and getting absolute dog's abuse as well, despite the fact that he's from these parts, of course. But anyway, Beckham's here enjoying his festive season still in the UK, staying on to watch this match. Still don't know where he's going to be playing, of course. That has all to be confirmed. And now Vidic, a little push in the back there on Joe Cole, and it's a free kick to West Ham. Joe Cole played against Manchester United, started the 2007 final at Wembley for Chelsea, Went away, of course, from West Ham and won everything domestically. Went to 3 World Cups as well. Wonder whether he feels completely fulfilled though. Now 31 years of age. This is a great opportunity for him though, back in his spiritual home. Free kick to West Ham and Collins to take it. Lots of players to pick out here. Goes in inevitably towards Carlton Cole, looking for a knockdown for Nolan, who can't control it. Nolan was in that position, just trying to feed off the target man, but it runs away from him.
It's interesting, isn't it, all of the possession that Manchester United have had, and yet it's West Ham that's come the closest to scoring. One's from the corner, and now that one from the free kick as well. So Manchester United have to be careful, particularly where restarts are concerned, because West Ham have threatened on each occasion they've had a corner and free kick.
Graham Taylor with us on 5 Live. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0. West Ham, of course, with great FA Cup pedigree. 3 times winners. Hernandez now plays a 1-2 with Raphael. Now it's Kagawa. Kagawa's ball in. Hernandez is offside. And although Welbeck's put the ball into the back of the net, the flag went up very quickly down this near side. But there's some nice slick passing there from Manchester United.
There certainly was. We're almost in line with the assistant referee and definitely offside.
Don't forget, tomorrow on 5 Live, the commentaries are Swansea against Arsenal first. We'll have the draw for the 4th round. And we also have Mansfield against Liverpool. That's all coming tomorrow. Today, the headlines made by Luton and Macclesfield. Long ball downfield now from Jääskeläinen. Cole looking for the flick on once more, and Nolan had run forward. Demel gets the better of Welbeck down the right, and Vazte takes on Butner, and is very happy to see the ball going out for a West Ham throw deep inside the Manchester United half. Carlton Cole, ever dangerous, patrolling that penalty area. Vidic trying to watch him. Remember his 2 goals here, which put out Manchester United in the League Cup a couple of seasons ago. Ball played in deep now from Vazte to the far post. Joe Cole reaches for it, but the ball is still in play, and it's fired back into the penalty area. Travelled a very long way. Manchester United now get a foot on it and send it down this near side. Always lovely running from Hernandez, but he was followed by Tompkins, and then a good confident overhead kick from Potts, and the ball ends up inside the Manchester United half yet again with Scholes. Played back to Vidic. Vidic, who's been troubled a couple of times here by Carlton Cole already, and now cleverly for Smalling, with players like Giggs, Young, Valencia and Van Persie all on the Manchester United bench tonight, just in case. They don't want a replay. Kagawa for Scholes. Butner ever available down the left. Welbeck is pointing. Now it's Kagawa back to Scholes. It'll be Kagawa, of course, playing in the FA Cup for the very first time. The signing from Borussia Dortmund. Kagawa taking the ball back inside Manchester United territory. They're playing from left to right in this first half, and we played 17.5 minutes. All Manchester United possession, but the closest to a goal so far coming from West Ham from that corner. Raphael to Scholes. Patient builder, but at the moment it's some distance away from the West Ham goal. Scholes again. On to Raphael. Playing in midfield this evening. Smalling is available. And he's fouled is Raphael by Alou Diarra. And it's a free kick for Manchester United. It's 30 yards away from Jääskeläinen's goal. And there's a possibility here, Graham.
Certainly is. If you get the delivery right, that's the most important thing. Whenever you get a restart and you can get either the corner or the free kick, get the delivery right, then you've got a good chance of getting the goal.
Jääskeläinen is barking out the instructions. Butner and Scholes are the 2 players near the ball here. It's a free kick. It's not quite centre for Manchester United, but it's a good opportunity here. Vidic has stayed back. Evans has gone forward to the edge of the penalty area. Ball is not well delivered, and Demel didn't get a call there, I don't think, from anybody, because the big right back has put the ball away for a corner kick to Manchester United. And I hope he, from his point of view, doesn't live to regret this. That was unnecessary.
It certainly was. The only defence I would make for him, Mike, is he probably didn't know what was behind him and thought, I can't risk anything, but somebody should have told him. It was an easy thing for anybody to say, to let it go.
Manchester United corner, the height being provided by Smalling, Evans and Vidic. In comes the corner kick, and cleared away this time by West Ham United. It was a good strong header, I think, from Nemanja Vidic, and now it's cleared by Collins, and he's just sent that one as far as he possibly can, and Raphael was quick on the halfway line to head it back. Now West Ham on a counter-attack. No Noble to drive them forward in midfield tonight, but it's Nolan. That wasn't well played from him. Should have really picked out Vazte, and Manchester United clear into this stand for a West Ham United throw-in. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0, third round of the FA Cup. West Ham's most famous FA Cup win, I guess. Well, obviously the one at Old Trafford everyone remembers, when Joe Cole was in the team and Di Canio scored the goal. But I remember also in the 60s when United were the holders in 64, when West Ham won the semi-final in the mud at Hillsborough, and they went on to win the FA Cup under Ron Greenwood against Preston. Jeff Hurst and all that. Bobby Moore obviously in the team. Manchester United now regrouping in midfield. Kagawa getting into difficulty here. Diarra's too strong for him. Collison's there to help out. The ball was aimed towards Nolan, but instead it falls to Joe Cole, who pops up now for the first time down the right-hand side. Shot is driven in straight at Evans, and another opportunity for West Ham down the right. Demel's going to try and win a corner. He's got it. And the last time West Ham had a corner, Manchester United had real problems.
He certainly did. I thought that Joe Cole could have played Demel in. He chose to take the shot, and then eventually the corner was won, but I thought he was being a little bit greedy there. Perhaps on this occasion, his first game back, he wants to give the crowd something, but I think it would have been much easier then to have played Demel in.
Nolan, as usual, stands provocatively inside the 6-yard area, trying to make life difficult for De Gea. Corner kick is driven in, it doesn't reach Collins. It wasn't a good corner from the right, but West Ham do keep the possession. Joe Cole has a chance now to play this one back in again. Manchester United headed out on as far as Vazte. West Ham causing problems. Nolan! Oh, this offside flag has gone up. Nolan once more. How many times have we seen that in that 6-yard area at the near post? But the flag went up immediately for an offside.
There's a wonderful habit, Nolan, obviously he scores the goal, but he knows how to get in the line of the keeper. So, and he's done that there, but got himself into an offside position. He does it on so many occasions that, he can see an effort coming in goal, and he's there across the line of the keeper, and he picks up so many bits and pieces to score.
No Andy Carroll, obviously, still in this West Ham team. No Diarmi either, who made such a difference to West Ham when he came on in that game against Chelsea here and turned the game around. And no O'Brien, the fullback, he's injured. And West Ham are in the market for another left-back. They did sign Chamakh yesterday on loan from Arsenal, the striker, but he wasn't signed in time to play here. Now it's Rafael. Good running from Hernandez. Hernandez played it early towards Welbeck. Chance here at the far post, and Manchester United score through Cleverley. Ball was played in down the right-hand side. Nobody picked up the run from Tom Cleverley, and it was a lovely, tidy finish from him. And it's West Ham 0, Manchester United 1.
First-class finish. You can't take that away from him at all. But completely unmarked. I don't know where the West Ham defence had gone then. There was just nobody about. Cleverley completely unmarked. Acres of freedom, but took it so well. Took it first time, back across the face of the keeper. 1-0 to Manchester United.
The ball appeared to be played through Collins' legs initially, and then there was only one defender back there for West Ham United. And at the same time, though, Cleverley had to finish, and he did with aplomb. And so after halfway through the first half, Manchester United go into a 1-0 lead. And West Ham, who've conceded quite a few goals early on this season, find themselves with quite a hill to climb here. Can they respond as Carlton Cole tries to head the ball on once more to Nolan, and Manchester United lose the ball in midfield for Diarra, and the Manchester United fans we can hear now around Upton Park. Nolan on to Collison, and that's a foul from Scholes, and that will have to be
a yellow card
under the totting up process, I think, because I'm sure that was the last warning earlier from Martin Atkinson. Yellow card for Paul Scholes.
Yeah, had no option there. Brought him back, brought him down from behind him, coming in onto the edge of the box. The referee had got no option but to not only give the foul but to award the yellow card as well.
Player foul was Collison, who's had such a lean time here at West Ham through injuries, serious ones too. The Welshman back in the side, and Collins and Cole. Now this would be quite a moment, wouldn't it, if Joe Cole can get this on target with a free kick. Collins, the defender, is to his left, but Joe Cole looks the favourite here. This kick is 25 yards away from De Gea's goal. He's guarding his near post at the moment. Cole makes a mark, trying to lift this ball perhaps over the Manchester United wall and get West Ham back in the game. Ball played in. Header from Vazte was a really soft effort. Joe Cole didn't go all the way with the free kick. Vazte got nothing on the header at all, and it's an easy pick up for De Gea.
Yeah, there was no power on the ball. There's no real power on the free kick as well, so at the end of the day, that was disappointing for West Ham.
Welbeck is charging down that left-hand side and he feeds Kagawa in midfield. Now the goal scorer Cleverley inside the centre circle. Cleverley and Scholes, a good unit in midfield for Manchester United. Scholes again, on a yellow card though, in the game. How many times have we said that over the years? And Scholes and Butner and Scholes again. West Ham 0, Manchester United 1 on the day when Macclesfield beat Cardiff, Luton beat Wolves, the holders Chelsea eventually had a good win at Southampton with Demba Ba getting goals on his first appearance. Manchester City beat Watford 3-0, and now here's Joe Cole for West Ham United trying to measure across for Cole, and Vidic had to be very careful with that clearance which reared up a little bit at him. Ball played into Cleverley, whose initial control is good. Butner back to Evans, and now back to David De Gea, who's getting a bit of an extended run at the moment in this Manchester United goal.
Yeah, the goalkeeping position wanted settling down. I think a lot of people would hold that view. And now De Gea being given that time, it makes one feel that the manager has confidence in you and keep it going rather than, continually changing that position. West
Ham 0, Manchester United 1 on 5 Live. Goal scored by Tom Cleverley halfway through the first half. The ball played in from the right. There wasn't enough cover from West Ham at the back. And now West Ham with Demel over on the far side, the right. Demel's ball searching out Nolan. Nolan struggling to keep it in. It's come back to the halfway line. And now Collison into Carlton Cole. Goes down under the challenge. Referee's given the free kick. Free kick conceded by Evans. And this free kick is 15 yards or so inside the Manchester United half. There's no doubt, Graham, that if West Ham can get any kind of service into Carlton Cole, he's a handful for any defender, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. And he puts himself across defenders, makes sure he's not frightened of the physical contact. So it's a threat, particularly from a free kick from this distance and this angle.
Free kick to West Ham, trailing 1-0. Ball played in from the right-hand side towards Cole. Manchester United deal with it. Diarra clips it back in, but it hits a Manchester United defender, and so it's still some distance from the penalty area. Ricardo Vazte, another player, of course, who's associated with Sam Allardyce. Joe Cole calls the ball in, and it's headed in by Collins. Well, Joe Cole delivers from the left-hand side. And Collins was there to apply a header past De Gea into the corner, and West Ham respond with an equaliser.
Well, very good cross by Joe Cole, no doubt about it. That was all his intent. As soon as he received the ball, you knew that he was going to put the cross in. And Collins came across the face of the Manchester United defenders there, met it firmly, straight into the back of the net. West Ham 1, Manchester United 1.
Game on. And where did James Collins come from? The big man from the back. And Joe Cole gets an assist. And it was a beautifully... De Gea just had to sit and stand and watch that go one past him.
Yeah,
it was
couldn't
well
do
directed.
About it, Mike. Couldn't do anything about it.
West Ham 1, Manchester United 1. West Ham needed to respond quickly. Needed to respond to get the crowd going once more here. And so both sides now, well, Manchester United in particular, have to start again. Collins, the number 19, the man who was on the bench, an unused sub when West Ham got to the final against Liverpool, that classic final, the last one to be played in Cardiff. United lose the ball, and the shot is driven in, and Diarra got a little bit carried away there because he had options left and right, and he smashes it straight into the crowd, well over De Gea's goal.
Yeah, very ambitious that was by Diarra. If it had gone in, we'd have all recognised that as one of the goals of the season, but way over the bar.
FA Cup third round, live on 5 Live. It's been quite a day already, and this one is developing nicely for us now, with West Ham replying through Collins after the goal from Cleverley for Manchester United. Raphael battling down this right-hand side, trying to jink his way past 3 West Ham players, and now it's Vazte with a step over towards Carlton Cole, and it's out of play. So let's just talk a bit about Joe Cole's involvement in that goal too, Graham.
Well, what I've noticed from him since the start of the game, he's wanted to put the crosses in, he's wanted to be part of the goal, he's very much wanting to be recognised and seen. On occasion I felt that he could have probably said, you don't have to do that just now, Joe, it'll come. But you can understand it, his first game back, wants to be part of something, put an early cross in, very well headed in, so he's been part of the equaliser.
Well, initially when he was here as a young man, they played him in the sort of hole behind the strikers. Tonight it's more of a wide position, but he does seem to have a licence to play left and right. He's playing over on the right hand side, at the moment, and Manchester United now with a bit of space in midfield. Raphael, nobody's got a tackle in on him. Cleverly is well tackled. It's amazing what a difference a goal makes now. West Ham suddenly tackling much more sharply, and Manchester United with Welbeck. Again, they're not closing him down, West Ham. It's Hernandez finding Smalling. The United goal came from across from this right-hand side. Welbeck back to Hernandez. West Ham 1, Manchester United 1. Cleverly now feeding. Not sure he's going to get that. No, he's not. It was Raphael who tried in vain to get it, and it's a goal kick to West Ham.
Yeah, overhit by Cleverly. Probably understand him. I think he tried to make the pass so that Raphael could be on the move, for something for him to go on to, and it's just a misunderstanding there. Raphael expecting it to be played into his feet.
Main headlines today in the FA Cup made by Macclesfield, Luton and Brighton. Macclesfield beating Cardiff 2-1, Luton beating Wolves 1-0, Brighton in the early kick-off beating Newcastle 2-0. Nolan now down the right-hand side. Joe Cole this time pops up down the right-hand side, taking on Butner. Still Joe Cole. Cole's ball in, headed back by Evans, and it's a West Ham throw. There were other situations during the afternoon that we thought might materialise. Crawley went in front against Reading, but in the end Reading did win the game. Ipswich were leading at Aston Villa, but Villa turned it round. Spurs beat Coventry 3-0, and now here come West Ham, encouraged by the goal. Down the right, in comes the cross. United haven't managed to head it away. Appeal from the crowd there as a West Ham player. Nolan goes down in the penalty area. There wasn't too much of appealing going on from the team, I don't think. Manchester United now need a good solid clearance out of defence, and it wasn't there really. It's gone straight to Demel with good power down the right. Hernandez adjudged to have fouled him from behind. It's a West Ham free kick, and Baste is complaining there, and now he pats Carlton Cole on the head. So we've got Nolan and Cole, they're the two target men really, but of course Collins, having scored that goal with his head, is now going forward to try and get a second. West Ham free kick wide on the right. 1-1 here under the lights in the East End of London at Upton Park. Third round of the FA Cup. Carlton Cole, Diarra, Collins, they're the main men at the moment. Tompkins is there as well. Nolan perhaps looking for a flick on at the near post. Joe Cole very much enjoying this responsibility now he has back in the claret and blue. Free kick to West Ham. In it goes, headed away by Manchester United Smalling. In fact, it's gone off a West Ham player in the end, and it's going to be a goal kick. On Joe Cole, when he went to Chelsea, he seemed to have few problems at times, Graham, in that Mourinho wanted him to work a bit harder, didn't he? And that maybe is not his forte.
No, and I think he works fine, but I think when you've got a natural attacking player, to make him or insist that he does an amount of defensive work which is not his strength, I'm not necessarily, I agree with that. I think I'm to a degree on the player's side.
Remember a couple of games watching Chelsea, just watch this Manchester United build up. Welbeck now. There was one game at Fulham where I remember Mourinho hauled him off after about 15 minutes. A real message, and now Cleverly now for Manchester United. He got the goal, but the equalizers come from Collins. It's 1-1 and we played 32 minutes of the first half. Again, United's final ball lets them down. Again, Raphael's the man failing to keep it in. And it's a goal kick from Jaskalainen now in the West Ham goal. I
think the Manchester United, or Raphael is quite right in thinking that some of his colleagues in the Manchester United team are looking forward and making him slide out onto the ash, because as you say, that's 2 or 3 times he's had a pass
might be better. I've not seen Raphael in midfield too many times. It might be better suited actually, because he's not the greatest defender sometimes at right back when he's exposed, but he's a good footballer, and he's enjoying a little bit more licence now in midfield this evening. And it's Vidic for Manchester United. Vidic, the captain of United. They're drawing here 1-1. Ball played into Hernandez. Header down is loose. West Ham look to Nolan to try and appeal for handball. Martin Atkinson doesn't give it, and now it's another floater forward from Scholes. Welbeck trying to get away from the defender, and then Hernandez tries a very ambitious swivel and shot from 25 yards, and it's nowhere near the target, and it's a goal. It's a goal kick for the home side.
It's a bit unusual that for Hernandez, because I think he's a very good player, very good striker, and I was surprised to see him take a chance like that. 23 yards on the bounce, volleyed right over.
People often say about him he's actually a better impact player coming off the bench for Manchester United. Not quite that looked like a handball from Carlton Cole, but nothing given from the referee. Manchester United having problems getting hold of this in midfield, and now it's Collison finding Demel down the right-hand side. Nolan's again in the penalty area. Ball is played in to Collison. Collison with a couple of step-overs goes towards the dead ball line and wins the corner kick off Scholes. And there's no question, every time West Ham have these set pieces, balls played into the Manchester United penalty area, there are problems. And the goal came from a cross from Joe Cole from the left-hand side, which was headed in by Collins. So, a bit of pushing and shoving there involving Nolan and Raphael. De Gea hasn't got much of a sighting here because Nolan's standing right alongside him, and we haven't got a ball either. So we get one now fired in from this near side. Someone's stolen the ball. Here comes the replacement, and there's a little bit of a tactic being discussed down there by Cole and Collins. Two Coles, of course, in this West Ham team again now, Carlton Cole and Joe. And here comes the West Ham corner kick delivered from the right and headed up in the air. Welbeck is going to have to get this one out for Manchester United. Then an overhead clearance from Hernandez. There's only Kagawa downfield. He kicks fresh air initially and then turns one and finds Welbeck. And Welbeck takes the defenders on, all on his own. Hernandez has made a run if he can see him. Welbeck steadies himself, shoots straight at Jääskeläinen. And Hernandez, not impressed, I think, felt he was in a better position.
He certainly was. It just needed rolling across to Fernandes and it would have been a tap-in for him.
Great pace from Welbeck, took out Potts completely, and now Butler, the left-back, playing at right-back. Plays to the unmarked Scholes. 1-1 at Upton Park. Scholes into Kagawa. It was too tight, that, for Manchester United. Too many West Ham defenders there on the edge of the penalty area. And now, cleverly, nice little triangle. Scholes, just inside the West Ham half. Welbeck, who's coming deep and causing a few problems. Welbeck linking the play. Now it's played forward, and that was well cut out by Vaste. Otherwise Raphael would have been in, and now perhaps an injury here for Danny Welbeck. He's gone down. He may need attention. Just a chance, if he is injured, for me to run through a few of the FA Cup scores. Macclesfield 2, Cardiff 1, Luton 1, Wolves 0, Brighton 2, Newcastle 0. They were the headlines today, as there was no injury requirement there for Welbeck, so the game continues with Kagawa. 1-1. Scholes on to Raphael. Now Tom Cleverley. It's a long time since these two sides met in the FA Cup here. Sir Alex Ferguson's never had an FA Cup tie at Upton Park. Last time in the 80s it was a draw, and then West Ham won the replay when back in 86. Scholes now for Manchester United. Little floater, testing the defender, headed away by West Ham. Now it might run for Nolan. Nolan, unlucky that Collison couldn't take it in his stride, and then he brings down the United player, and he will get a yellow card for that.
Yeah, deliberately pulled him down. He's asking, I mean, it's almost like asking to get a yellow card. Bad enough just sort of getting the first foot into to commit the foul, but to pull him down as well, you've got no option but to show the card. 8
minutes to go in the first half on FA Cup third round day. More action tomorrow on 5 Live. It's 1-1 here, and Manchester United building slowly. Welbeck again in this deep position. Scholes now anchoring midfield. He's got options everywhere. Smalling had made a run down the right-hand side. Scholes was aware of that, but plays it shorter to his left. Kagawa now to Cleverley. United biding their time. West Ham have got the defenders back though, so it's tough for Manchester United. At least it should be. And now they charge forward. Do West Ham, and Collins has to be careful with the challenge on Cleverley. Collins is appealing that the ball was out of play, and now Collins himself can thump it to safety. Huge gap though between the midfield and Carlton Cole, but Carlton Cole, very intelligent footballer, sets off with pace down that right hand side. In the end invites the challenge from Evans and does really well, because he's won a lot of yards there for West Ham United. They've got a throw now halfway inside the Manchester United half.
It was very good play there by Cole. Took it on his chest, out of the air, feet off the ground. As he came down, he just swiveled round Evans and then ran him.
Nolan following the throw. Nolan was, yes he was caught. The referee marking it. Scholes again, has to be careful. Living dangerously, and we haven't even played 40 minutes of the game yet. But at the same time, not a great position to concede a free kick either. Manchester United not always convincing at the back, dealing with these set pieces. And now West Ham have the extra ingredient of Joe Cole in the side for these set pieces. Tompkins has sneaked forward, I can see, on the left-hand side. Vazte's lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Nolan, as ever, is pushing and shoving. Here comes a free kick then for West Ham. Nolan again tried to flick it on. Could be a counter-attack if it was played neatly by Hernandez, but it wasn't. So West Ham have possession again over on the right-hand side. This time Joe Cole gives it early. In towards Carlton Cole. Headed on. Tompkins has stayed forward. Cross comes a defender. And Tompkins tries to win a corner kick. But Smalling is too clever. And now Raphael taking on Potts. The young fullback is there. Sam Allardyce appeals for the free kick, and it's gone his team's way.
Yeah, I thought Potts did very well there. He could have been enticed in. He was going to be short if he had done. Lost the tackle there. He held back and eventually was fouled himself.
1-1. Who's going to get an advantage before half-time? Well, Vazte trying to be a hero there. From the angle from 25 yards out, Sam Allardyce turns away in disgust. That was a hopeless effort, really, from the young player. And it's a goal kick for Manchester United. 9 seasons then since they won the FA Cup in Cardiff against Millwall. And since the FA Cup returned to the new Wembley Stadium, it's all been blue really every year. The team winning the Cup has played in blue. We've got another ball coming out. This time De Gea didn't get the ball back from the crowd. He's got one now from that far side. So goal kick to Manchester United. 1-1 at Upton Park. Really good scenario moving into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Good atmosphere around the place. West Ham back in the game. Joe Cole's enjoying his second debut, if you like. And West Ham have a throw-in down this near side. Danny Potts wearing the number 33 shirt to take it. Joe Cole, by the way, back in his old 26 shirt. Sam Allardyce is still prowling around down there, almost on the pitch, trying to get some kind of message over. Out comes Fergie as well now, who's got his hands on his hips and a glare. And what's his problem?
Well, I think they're doing his boot. It's usually they come off, don't they? He's just been allowed to tie his boot up. That's Vazte.
Yeah, but why would it wouldn't be in their interest to waste time, would it, in the game?
Not really.
No. Anyway, he's back on his stool again. And it's a West Ham throw-in. And we have Potts hurling it towards the halfway line. Looking for Cole. Drops to Scholes. Has to be careful now on a yellow. Welbeck. Was he caught from behind? He certainly thought he was. And Martin Atkinson, I think, was just waiting to see whether United were going to keep the possession. And they lost possession, and he gives the free kick.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? Yeah, I think on 2 or 3 occasions of the game, he's refereed it well. He's seen an advantage to the team, to the player that's been fouled. He's allowed play to go on.
Nothing too special from the free kick. Scholes just rolled it back to Evans. Wanted the ball back again. And now Raphael with a bit of mud now on the back of his shirt, following those runs off the pitch away to our right. And a little bit of a scrappy period of play at the moment as we move towards half-time. Free kick to West Ham to be taken by Tompkins, who I remember seeing playing for the British Olympic team during this last summer. Leaves it to Collins. James Collins now with a free kick for West Ham with about 2 minutes left in the first half. We'll be running through, of course, all of the day's main news for you during half-time here on 5 Live. Long ball forward, looking for Noble. It was headed on by Cole. Noble was looking for an overhead kick, and then another sliced effort from Vazte. Hasn't quite got his geography right in this game, and that's gone wide of De Gea's goal for another Manchester United goal kick. There's no question that this is number 3, isn't it, in terms of priorities? But at the same time, it's a trophy that many of these players haven't won, Graham, and it's one that Sir Alex will not want to relinquish.
Well, I'm sure that's right as well. I mean, there's all opinions about, clubs playing not their strongest side, playing a weakened side, and I say it doesn't do the image of the FA Cup anymore. There's a lot of talk about the tiredness of players, opportunities to give younger players a chance as well. But I think if you ask most supporters, they would want to see their team do well in the FA Cup. They would like to see their team have a chance to pick the FA Cup up. So I'm not so certain that this goes down well with supporters.
Well, no better example, I think, of that than the fact that when Tottenham played Coventry today, it was all about what Coventry did in the 80s. Never mind anything else they've done in the league. They've just sort of dined out on that, really, for the last quarter of a century. Anyway, the first half is just petering out a little bit here. Two sides to recharge themselves at half-time. The one thing, as I said earlier, that I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson would want would be a replay here the week after next. So it's 1-1 at the moment. Long way to go still in the game before that happens. And now Raphael onto Kagawa. Hernandez slides the ball back to Welbeck. Little bit bunched up. Oh, an important clearance from Collins. There, otherwise Hernandez would have been inside the penalty area. Real threat there for Manchester United. Now they have it back in midfield once more, and with just seconds left in the first half, closing the game with a possibility of going in front before half-time. Danny Welbeck again, building from the deep. Lots of white shirts around him. Played into Raphael. Raphael jumps around a few challenges, and then I thought he tripped himself in the end. He did, didn't he? He's gone down looking for a free kick.
He tripped himself, but he doesn't realise.
And he fell on the ball.
And then he fell on the ball, pulled it into his chest, put both hands round it, and he's now suggesting, or more than suggesting, to the referee and to the referee's assistant that he was fouled.
And Sir Alex shakes his fist. And anybody would think, looking at him, he's just starting out in his managerial career with all that passion still and enthusiasm. So West Ham clear the ball downfield, and now Sir Alex Ferguson's team, with 2 minutes of added time, have to keep the door closed here. It's Raphael giving it the charge. Kagawa never had that under his control. West Ham surrounding the ball, and now Potts flips it down. Oh, Vidic against Carlton Cole. Cole's got the better of Vidic, drives forward. Vidic has to stay on his feet. Ball was played in, though, behind Joe Cole. What an end to the first half that might have been. Now some really good control from Tom Cleverley. And what will be fascinating if it stays 1-1 in the second half will be to see the likes of Van Persie, obviously Valencia, maybe coming off the bench, and Young, and now a long ball forward, which Tompkins judges well there. And Welbeck still picks up possession for Manchester United, finds Kagawa. Kagawa loses possession, and in comes Vaz-Tey defensively. 45 seconds left of added time at the end of this first 45. Carlton Cole now, right across the field to Joe Cole. Cole with Demel available down the right, knew it instinctively. Back again to Joe Cole, getting good applause from the crowd. Really see him growing into this game, Joe Cole. Made the goal for Collins, the equalizer. Two managers standing side by side down there in the technical area. Potts doesn't work that little chip, but it still has to be cleared at the back from Manchester United, and it's lumped towards the halfway line. What a poor header from Hernandez. Joe Cole getting cheered every time he has the ball. Just 5 seconds to go. They have to be quick now, West Ham. Demel down the right into Joe Cole. Time running out. 1-1. Cole's ball in. Important header away by Vidic. Might drop to Vaz-Tey. It takes an age to come down to his feet. Vaz-Tey now running square with the ball. Didn't get it in. Diarra, referee being very generous, and now blows for half-time. So Manchester United going in front through Cleverley. And they look pretty good value early on for that lead. But the cameramen are running, first of all, to James Collins, the equaliser scorer for West Ham, but also to Joe Cole as well, I would have think, who got an assist, Graham.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, as I said earlier, is looking to make his mark. Perfectly understandable that. Sometimes I think has delivered when he could have just held on and played a little different type of ball, but you can understand that he did get the delivery in for West Ham's equaliser with a header by Collins. Been an interesting half, no doubt about it. Just petered out that last 10 to 15 minutes. But all in all, an interesting game, this.
Thank you very much. So nobody has control of this third round tie as yet. Half-time score at Upton Park. West Ham 1, Manchester United 1.
Thank you very much indeed, Mike Ingham and Graham Taylor. Back to them for the second half. Now, just in case you thought the FA Cup had gone to our heads earlier, we had a bit of a technical gremlin, as lots of you have noticed. But here is a chance to get your fix. So I promise this is Sports Report.
Here comes Barnsholmer from Macclesfield, and he scores! And an FA Cup upset is on our hands here.
So the headlines tonight: Macclesfield see off Championship leaders Cardiff, and they're not the only non-leaguers to cause an upset.
Oh, Luton score! Lawless on the volley, and Luton, the non-leaguers, take the lead against Wolves in the cup.
Luton not Wolves, 59 places above them in the league, out of the FA Cup. Ryman League side Hastings, though, are beaten at Middlesbrough. There's a Premier League casualty as Brighton see off Newcastle. Several other Premier League clubs are taken to replay. Sunderland fight back from 2 down to draw with Bolton, and there are draws between Fulham and Blackpool, Wigan and Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace and Stoke. Aston Villa come from behind to beat Ipswich. Demba Ba scores twice as Chelsea thrash Southampton, and there are straightforward wins for Tottenham and Coventry. League One, Oldham pull off a shock at Nottingham Forest. The dreams of Peterborough and Crawley are ended respectively by Norwich and Reading. QPR and West Brom need to replay after a 1-1 draw. So let's bring you as much reaction as we can before the second half kicks off at Upton Park. We'll start with Macclesfield. The Blue Square Premier side came from behind to beat the Championship leaders Cardiff by 2-1. And here's the Macclesfield manager Steve King with Gary Flintoff.
Well, Steve, you've made history today for Macclesfield Town. How does it feel?
Emotional wreck at the moment. Just amazed. I've never been in the fourth round, nor has the club ever. And I just think the way we got there as well, I thought we were the better side for most of the game.
Did you know that kind of spirit was among your side?
I've seen it time and time again. Sometimes we haven't had the rub of the green and we've lost games, but we're more than capable of coming back every single time. I could just peel them off. There's so many times we've done it.
So, you're in the fourth round draw. Who do you want?
I'd love to have Liverpool at Anfield, to be fair. That's my team. They've always been my team, and I'll take anybody, but just to have Liverpool would be my dream, really.
So there we are, that's Steve King then of Macclesfield. There was success as well for non-league Luton. They beat Wolves 1-0. Jonathan Overend, they were not flattered by that.
No, Luton totally deserved it. Wolves were very average on the day, but Luton, the non-leaguers, had more clear chances. Their goal was a peach from Alex Lawless, and their goalkeeper Mark Tyler made an excellent save, particularly in the first half, tipping onto the crossbar from Kevin Doyle's flick. It was a brilliant performance in the true traditions of the FA Cup. They dug deep, particularly in the 9 minutes of second half stoppage time. While at the end, the Luton fans, who've seen most things before, were stomping on the rickety floorboards of the main stand. Veterans of League Cup wins, David Pleat jigs and point deductions were waving their orange and white scarves. And here's their manager, Paul Buckle.
It was electric. It was unbelievable. I've played in some big games as a player. I've been involved in some as a manager, but this was fantastic. The noise and the encouragement from the Luton fans today was unbelievable. And with Wolves selling their allocation as well, it was a fantastic cup tie, and one we more than played our part in. So I'm delighted.
I think the noise was generated partly by obviously the length of time you had to hang on in the second half, but also by a true belief that you were the better side and deserved this win. Is that how you saw it?
It is how I saw it. I mean, the injury to O'Donnell it looked very serious. I'm pleased to say that it's just a broken nose in the end, but it looked serious. And then when the 9 minutes went up, you're thinking, well, okay. But I was enjoying it by then. I've got to admit, I was enjoying it. I thought we was in control. We got a lot of things right today, but we did deserve to go through.
That's the Luton manager Paul Buckle, thrilled with his side's win, of course, over Wolves. Right, before we go out to Upton Park for the second half, we'll tell the story of Hastings Day. They were beaten in Middlesbrough. We'll hear from Gus Poyet. Brighton beat Newcastle by 2-0, and a brace for Demba Ba in his debut as Chelsea, the holders, thrashed Southampton 5-1. All that to come after at 6:07, the news with Richard Foster.
On digital radio, digital TV, mobile and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Police in Belfast have arrested a 38-year-old man on suspicion of attempted murder after reports that shots were fired during violent protests in East Belfast this afternoon. Demonstrators have been protesting against a decision to stop flying the Union flag over City Hall every day. Well, our reporter Andy Martin is in Belfast. He joins me now. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening.
And what more do we know so far about the man who's been arrested?
We know very little, except that the police are investigating reports that shots were fired in East Belfast. Now, it's not clear whether in fact those shots were fired, but they have arrested him, they say, on suspicion of attempted murder. We don't know what community that man may have come from, and in fact we know that on previous occasions when in fact it was confirmed that shots were fired in that part of the city during loyalist rioting, that in fact the shots had come from from dissident Republicans and not from loyalists at all. So it's not very clear as yet as to what the nature of this arrest is, other than that it is under suspicion of attempted murder, and we haven't got it confirmed yet as to whether any shots were actually fired.
And are the protests continuing now, those protests about the flag?
No, the protests are finished routinely on Saturdays, every Saturday for the past month, in fact, since that decision was taken at Belfast City Council to limit the number of days on which the Union flag can fly above its buildings. There has been a protest at Belfast City Hall. They have by and large been peaceful. Groups of loyalists come from different parts of Belfast and indeed different parts of Northern Ireland to protest at the City Hall. They then disperse and move back into their areas, and it was as the loyalists were making their way back towards East Belfast this evening that they say they came under attack from nationalists. I actually wasn't there at the time, so it's hard to say exactly what happened, but they say that they came under attack from nationalists as they made their way home with stones, and as a result of that there was some retaliation, and then there was a minor riot situation and the police moved in to clear the road.
Andy Martin in Belfast, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Other stories this evening, and Labour's warning that up to 1 million families face having child benefit clawed back through self-assessment tax returns. The Treasury's confirmed that around 200,000 parents have opted out of claiming the benefit ahead of next week's changes, which will remove the benefit from some higher rate taxpayers. The husband of a woman who died after becoming ill following a Christmas Day pub lunch has written to complain to the East London hospital where she was treated. John Gallagher says he's angry that doctors told his wife Della that she could go home after an injection. Queen's Hospital in Romford says she received appropriate treatment. A Nepalese army officer has been remanded in custody after appearing in court charged with 2 counts of torture. Colonel Kumar Lama is accused of committing the alleged crimes in Nepal during the country's civil war back in 2005. And the teenage sister of Colleen Rooney has died from a rare genetic disorder which she'd had all her life. Rosie McLaughlin was 14 and had Rett syndrome, which causes severe physical and mental disability. She died at her home in Liverpool in the early hours of this morning, surrounded by her relatives. Quick look at the roads then. In Lincolnshire, the A1 is closed southbound between the South Witham turn-off and the Stretton turn-off. It's all because of an accident there. Delays building up as we speak. Further south on the same road, the A1 in Hertfordshire, there's a multi-vehicle accident on the A1M northbound near Welwyn Garden City. A lane's closed on the entry slip road at junction 6. Finally into South Lanarkshire, the M74 northbound has an accident between junctions 8 and 7. Police are en route. Richard Foster, 5 Live Travel.
Almost 6 months on from when they inspired the nation.
He serves. It's an ace! It's gold! Gold! You better believe it! Gold for Andy Murray!
Many of Team GB and Paralympic GB's athletes received further recognition.
Olympians and Paralympians dominate the New Year's honours list, with Ben Ainsley, Sarah Story, Jessica Ennis and Mo Farah among those being honoured.
But have they succeeded on another level by inspiring a generation?
Victoria, Derbyshire.
As we start a new year, I'll be looking at the legacy of London 2012 with guests Lord Coe, Hugh Robertson and some of the UK's gold medal winners. Thursday morning from 10
on 5 Live.
Sports Report with Mark Pugat. 6:06 coming up with Mark Chapman and Robbie Savage. The lines are open 0500 909 693 85058. Plenty to react to, of course. Macclesfield and Luton, the big stories of the day with their wins. And Brighton putting away Newcastle fairly comfortably by 2-0 as well. Orlandi and Hoskins with the goals for Brighton. Let's hear from their manager Gus Poyet, whose team outperformed their Premier League opponents on the day.
Yeah, well, overall, I think that was the case. Saying that, we need to be honest. It was not the first 11 that you expect from Newcastle. We were a bit lucky. A few players that were missing, but we needed to perform. You're going to suffer from a few minutes, so for a few parts of the game, but after that, you need to play your game. And I think we done it quite all right, and we deserve it to win.
This puts you through into the next round. When you beat Newcastle last year and you went on to Liverpool, it was a day you'd rather forget. I think you said you wanted to dig a hole in Anfield and put yourself in it. So what do you hope for in the next round?
Me, the smallest team in the competition at home. The players, they won the biggest away. So we are different, but I won't be surprised if it's Liverpool. We'll see. I will take it when it comes, and we'll go from there.
Gus Poyet with Andy Gillies. The holders Chelsea came from a goal down at St Mary's to thrash Southampton 5-1. Jade Rodriguez put Saints in front, but then goals from Victor Moses, Branislav Ivanovic, Frank Lampard, and 2 on his debut from Demba Ba saw Chelsea home comfortably. Let's hear them from Ba, who marked his first Chelsea appearance in some style.
No, the feeling is great, when you see the fans, they share you, they're happy for you, and the teams, when they come and they congratulate you, it's a good feeling.
I'm playing with those 3 behind you. I mean, that must be tremendous, isn't it?
That makes football look easier. You know what I mean?
It must be such an exciting time for you. Is it an easy move to make?
Yeah, you know, when you know a club like Chelsea wants you, the decision, you know, is going to be easy. With all the respect I have for Newcastle, because Newcastle is a big club with big history, but when you come today to Chelsea, it's a step forward for me. They probably won't be too happy, but the true fan will understand, and I just want to thank them, you know, for what they've done for me.
Demba Ba with John Southall. So we've heard about wins for Macclesfield and Luton Town from the non-league ranks. Hastings, the lowest ranked team left. They lost, though, 4-1 away at Middlesbrough. Mark Clement spent the day with them, and even though they lost 4-1, they were far from embarrassed, Clem.
Do you know what, Mark? Such a ballsy nose to the grindstone performance that I think we've got to see in context with Hastings' FA Cup journey over the past 4 months. They won 6 rounds to get this far. That is the equivalent of a team joining at third round stage, winning the competition. This is what their man mountain of a player manager Sean Ray had to say to his players after the match.
I'm proud of every single one of you. You've achieved so much this season and you've grown as a team. But now we've got to kick on. We've got to use this experience today. We've got to use the experience of the whole cup run, and we've really got to kick on now. And we've got to start climbing the league. Second half today, you're outstanding. We passed the ball, we looked threatening. We was running at them with pace. They're full-time pros, boys, and you've given them a game.
They did indeed, the Hastings player manager Sean Ray. So they're out. Macclesfield and Luton, though, fly the non-league flag. Can Mansfield join them? We're going to have all the build-up and full commentary of their game with Liverpool tomorrow.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Mark Clement. In the Aviva Premiership today, London Irish gained a precious victory at Gloucester, winning 18-12. George Skivington scored 2 tries. Irish remain 1 off the bottom, 5 clear of Sale. Northampton won 30-19 at Exeter. And the RFU have confirmed that England fly half Toby Flood has been cited for an alleged tip tackle on Andy Good in last night's game between Worcester and Leicester. The hearing will be on Tuesday, and if found guilty, Flood will face a ban from playing England's opening Six Nations matches against Scotland at Twickenham on February the 2nd. Results in the Championship: London Scottish 26, Bedford 23, Moseley 23, Jersey 19, Rotherham Titans 12, Nottingham 32. So a defeat for Gloucester, but some of their players had a much happier day off the field. James Simpson-Daniel and Mike Tyndall, Gloucester players, Nicky Robinson, another player celebrating success in a different arena today. Their horse, Mon Beg Dude, a 10-1 shot, trained by Michael Scudamore, finished late and fast under jockey Paul Carberry to grab success in the Coral Welsh National at Chepstow from the hot favourite T for 3. Afterwards, Simpson-Daniel told 5 Live Sport he was pleasantly surprised.
I think if anything we were hopeful for maybe top 4. You know, I think if we'd have come 4th today, we'd have been happy. And then going down the back, I think he made an error at the last down the back, and then we didn't hear anything from the commentator. So I said to my wife, I think he might have been pulled up. And then suddenly we saw him on the screen. Carberry sat there on the bridle and he poked his nose around the edge of the screen. And then, God, he was so cool and calm. It was considering he's got a 4-mile stare in front of him, we didn't know if we could do the trip. And he's just sat there quiet. It was unbelievable.
And how cool and calm were you?
I wasn't. I was going mad. For all I knew, he could have been running on the course because I didn't know I was running up and down. But what a feeling! Absolutely amazing.
Win then for James Simpson-Daniel and his horse Mon Beg Dude then in the Welsh National. Tomorrow, Swansea-Arsenal, full commentary 1:30. Then I'll bring you the draw at 3:30 for the 4th round, and then commentary on Mansfield-Liverpool from 4 o'clock. Who's going to be in it? West Ham or Manchester United? Or at this rate, maybe both of them. 1-1 at half-time at Upton Park as we return to Graham Taylor and Mike Ingham.
Thank you, Mark. Interesting contrast between the two the substitutes. Half-time, all the West Ham subs were showing willing, running around, trying to attract the manager's eye. No sign of Mr. Van Persie or Mr. Ferdinand out there, but I was just talking to Graham. The Manchester United bench could still play a very important part in this second half. I'm forever blowing bubbles to get us underway, and no changes made at half-time. Remember, amongst the substitutes are Van Persie, Giggs, Young and Valencia. So West Ham playing from left to right in the second half with Jaskalainen, Demel, Tompkins, Collins the goal scorer, and Potts, and Joe Cole gets a shot in straight away over the bar. Diarra and Collison, Nolan, Bastey, Joe Cole and Carlton Cole. And the Manchester United team is De Gea, Smalling, Vidic, Evans and Butner. Raphael Scholes on a yellow card and Cleverley, the goal scorer, Kagawa, Hernandez and Welbeck. The goals came from Cleverley first for Manchester United. West Ham got themselves into the game with a little floater, right-footed ball in from Joe Cole. Really well played in for James Collins to head the West Ham equaliser. So Martin Atkinson's the referee. He gives a free kick to West Ham, who play defending the Sir Trevor Brooking stand away to our left, from left to right, in claret and blue of course, and James Collins, the defender, with his free kick. Nolan immediately backing into Scholes. Carlton Cole hoping that maybe there's a flick on coming his way. West Ham 1, Manchester United 1 on the third round day of the FA Cup. Carlton Cole couldn't climb to get that one in the air. It's a bit bunched up in midfield, and then Scholes squirts it out beautifully to Cleverley. Hernandez makes a dart down the left-hand side, and Hernandez has the ball, and he can take on Demel here, the fullback. Hernandez trying to send him the wrong way, sends himself the wrong way, then he falls down. The referee waves play on, and Scholes now with a lovely ball to feed Raphael. Raphael with a shot straight. Oh, Collins would have felt that. That went straight into his midriff, and now West Ham maybe a chance to break. Nolan looking for support down the right. Vazte's running down the right. Nolan waiting to time the pass. Oh, and it was a poor pass from Nolan. Very sluggish and tired pass that. And Butner easily wins it back for Manchester United.
Yeah, not very clever at all. I thought in many respects that Vazte might have made a better angle for him. I thought it was an easier pass to have passed it into his feet.
Oh, Welbeck's got away here down the right-hand side, taking on 2 West Ham defenders, having real problems here against the lively Welbeck. Still Welbeck, linking, cross, came in, slide header away, drops to Cleverley. Oh, Cleverley should have scored, should have at least had it on target, and he hits it very high, a long way back. And that wasn't great composure from Tom Cleverley. Showed great composure when he scored the first goal. I thought he should have done better there, Graham. What do you think?
He should have done much better. He had the time, it's come out. He's got to at least hit the target. He's got to at least produce a save off the keeper. It's a poor finish, that.
West Ham 1, Manchester United 1. Don't forget, after this commentary match, 6:06 with Mark Chapman and Robbie Savage. Lines open, 0500 909 693. On the day when Macclesfield have beaten Cardiff, Luton have beaten Wolves, Brighton got the better of Newcastle, Chelsea survived an early scare, the holders at Southampton. They won in the end 5-1. Evans now the Manchester United defender with a weak header, and West Ham now with Vazte. 1-1 at Upton Park. West Ham building. Nolan now looking to lift the ball to the left-hand side, and it's headed back well by Smalling. When we got the team news before the game, we wondered what Manchester United were going to do with an extra defender. Well, the answer is that Raphael tonight is playing in midfield, and West Ham give the ball away. And then Scholes plays it into Hernandez, who's appealing for the throw-in over on the far side, and now he dances away in disgust because the decision's gone against him. Potts, the young Danny Potts, 19 years of age, who's needed at left-back because of the absence of O'Brien and Courtney as well. And now Carlton Cole. That was a clear foul. And he does have problems, Vidic, at times against Carlton Cole. And Martin Atkinson's just calling him over. Vidic is protesting, but the free kick has been given. And here's a chance now for West Ham to slowly get players forward. We can see them coming from the back. Collins, Tompkins, and all teams feel that they can get the ball into the Manchester United area in the air, they've got a chance. Carlton Cole on the edge of the penalty area. Tompkins is there too. The tall Diarra on his debut, the French international, has gone forward. Joe Cole now to take this free kick down the West Ham United left. A mighty leap from Vidic to head the ball out, but West Ham can still press down the right. Vazte turning quickly. Cleverley comes towards him. Ball is played back and lifted in from Demel. It's gone behind all the claret and blue shirts. They managed to get a header on it, but it was a soft one in the end from Tompkins. And now De Gea clears quickly, looking for Hernandez, and the defender Potts is out of position, but the flag has gone up for offside against Hernandez. That was a nice try from De Gea, and it almost worked.
It almost did, but the assistant referee there, flag up straight away, straight across there, and to stop them playing. I think it is important for the game that it gets into a routine, it gets into what it was in the first minutes, 30 minutes of the first half, and starts it passing again, and starts sharp passing, quick passing.
FA Cup winner David Beckham is here watching the match as West Ham hit a long ball forward, and Nolan did really well initially to keep that one in from going behind, but Manchester United thumped the ball downfield. Tompkins and Collins have to be very careful, these two, when the ball is played forward quickly. Hernandez and Welbeck are very, very dangerous, very quick. They can turn you inside out. Throw into Manchester United. Butner, the left back tonight, not Evra. 1-1. Butner plays the ball into the back four. Vidic sorts out his footwork and now feeds Scholes. Scholes, who may not last the 90 minutes, on a yellow card. Ball played down that right-hand side. Manchester United find themselves back inside their own half once more. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Vidic, Sir Alex Ferguson won't want another game next week. The ball is into Cleverley. Manchester City safely through today, remember. They don't have a replay. They got through against Watford. Evans now with a little floater. Not good enough. And West Ham and Vazte had much more time than that. Just hammers the ball back, straight back to Manchester United. Evans wants some help here, calling for someone to come towards him. Johnny Evans, still nobody really helping him. Now he plays a diagonal to the far side of the field. And Smalling is there. It's back into midfield, and Raphael charging forward now for Manchester United. Good ball, Welbeck finding good space for Manchester United. Nobody really picking him up. Cleverly now, lovely ball to Smalling down the right-hand side. Danger for West Ham. Ball played, it doesn't reach Welbeck. West Ham trying to scramble it clear. Manchester United keep it in. Can't see Raphael's number now with all the mud. From Smalling to Welbeck. Welbeck this time doesn't manage to control it. But he does find space well, Danny Welbeck, in behind Hernandez. It's a goal kick for West Ham.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there, Welbeck, because he tried to drag this ball back, which was coming to him at pace in the air, and he tried to bend it round and swivel the defender at the same time. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep control of the ball. But just by him attempting that shows how dangerous that lad can be in the penalty box.
Waiting for the next dramatic stage of this game. 1-1, West Ham falling behind to a Cleverley goal. Coming back with a Collins header from a Joe Cole cross. And now, will either of these two sides get an advantage? Manchester United with their good movement, looking to play the ball from the back now. Vidic onto Smalling. 5 Live with Graham Taylor alongside me here at Upton Park. Manchester United losing their way in midfield, but then Kagawa trying to come back to win it back immediately for Manchester United. And we haven't seen a great deal of West Ham as an attacking force yet in this second half. They do have also, like Manchester United, some experienced players on the bench. Noble, Jarvis, Taylor, all on the bench for them tonight. Now Cleverley, on to Butner. Again, Manchester United starting the second half a bit like the first, with all of the ball. And Hernandez on the halfway line. Scholes to Butner, to Cleverley. Cleverley's ball, that was overhit towards Danny Welbeck. Just that final pass sometimes from Manchester United letting them down.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game has been an interesting game. But one of the things for me, yes, we've had the 2 goals, Mike, but we haven't had a lot of efforts at goal, have we?
Absolutely.
We haven't had a lot of shots at all.
Here comes Joe Cole now. Joe Cole with an assist on his return. Equalizer for Collins, headed in, and now Vazte. Vazte's ball in, awkward for Manchester United to deal with. Scholes got an initial touch. West Ham go piling in now. Kagawa has to be very careful not to lose this on the edge of there. He's played Cleverley into a bit of difficulty. Cleverley just managed to get out of it all right. And Manchester United finding Evans inside the penalty area. Evans at the moment playing nearly all of the games for Manchester United alongside either Ferdinand or Vidic as they ease Vidic back into the team after his long layoff. And they protect Rio Ferdinand. Now Johnny Evans, and there's no one coming towards him, so he goes forward, Johnny Evans, with good purpose. Welbeck made a run, Evans doesn't find him. United keep it short. Scholes, Smalling looking to make a charge down the right-hand side. Now it's played instead to Hernandez. Hernandez keeps it in, but he'll lose this now to Joe Cole. Joe Cole tucking back well in the way that Mourinho wanted him to do at Chelsea. And now Manchester United have the ball, and there's a free kick given late there for a challenge on Collison by Raphael. Martin Atkinson took his time, and now he's calling the trainer on as well, so there must be a bit of a problem there for Collison.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Mike, we'll see whether he's given the free kick or not, whether he blew immediately because he recognised...
He thought, I see, yeah, so it'll be a restart with a bounce.
So we'll see, yeah.
Which gives me an opportunity again to, just in case you haven't been with us today, tell you the news that Macclesfield put out Cardiff by 2-1. Luton had a fantastic victory over Wolves 1-0. Brighton in the early game saw off Newcastle 2-0. Southampton 1, Chelsea 5 was an eye-catching score. Spurs 3, Coventry 0. Aston Villa were a goal down at home to Ipswich. They won it 2-1. Middlesbrough beat Hastings 4-1. And, Crawley got in front inside the first minute against Reading. Ended up losing the game by 3-1. And don't forget, Robbie Savage and Mark Chapman are awaiting your calls tonight. 6:06 after West Ham and Manchester United. And the lines are open 0500 909 693. And then tomorrow we'll have for you Swansea against Arsenal. That should be a terrific cup tie. And also equally Mansfield against Liverpool. Now Scholes, long ball forward. Collins judges his header well at the back for West Ham, but nobody picked it up in midfield for West Ham. That was pretty casual. Manchester United now with their goal scorer Cleverly. It's 1-1 here. We played 10 minutes of the second half. Evans can't go forward, and then sends Carlton Cole a little bit of a dummy. I'm not sure that was intended. Evans, it's very slow, this build-up from Manchester United, and now Butler's going to lose if he's not careful to Vastey. Vastey takes the ball, has to showboat a little bit, gives it back to Demel, and now Demel's ball in towards Carlton Cole. Vidic this time gets the better of Carlton Cole. Hasn't always happened tonight, and it's out of play for West Ham. I just wonder now, whether West Ham are going to have a period here. We feel they must do at some point in this second half, the home team.
Certainly. They need to raise the game. The game generally in this half hasn't really taken off yet.
The Manchester United, for all their possession, haven't really put anything at Jaskalainen's goal. Now Joe Cole's doing well down the right-hand side. Cross game, header from Carlton Cole. I was looking to see whether that ball was out of play when Joe Cole got it in, but there was no flag. It was an excellent ball in from Joe Cole, and now West Ham have lost Welbeck. Welbeck on the edge of the penalty area for Manchester United. Danny Welbeck's got no support though, and initially just took too long to get moving. Cleverly now into space, finds Raphael. Good response from Manchester United. Ball played in. Tompkins almost steps on the ball, and the shot is driven in from Kagawa straight at the West Ham defenders. And now the break is on for West Ham, but ambling forward is Ricardo Vastey here with no great urgency. But you just feel that Manchester United, for all their early possession, haven't really had anything at Jaskalainen, and now West Ham might get a period to try and finish them off. And it's Joe Cole coming forward. Cole feeds Collison down the left-hand side. Little reverse ball, inviting Potts to get the cross in. Smalling was there, though, to clear. And the crowd lifting it up for the home side here. West Ham 1, Manchester United 1. Throw into West Ham over on the far side. Nolan offering his services and pointing and directing the play, the West Ham captain. Some delay over the throw-in. Now Vastey's unmarked, I see, in the penalty area. If they can get the cross in from the left-hand side. Nobody from Manchester United is following him. The ball is out of play for another West Ham throw. West Ham throw the ball down for Nolan. Nolan's flick on, off the defender, wins a corner. Danger for Manchester United. De Gea, not the tallest, of course, of keepers, not the most confident in the air. Great reflex reactions sometimes with saves. Sometimes when the ball is played in. There was one very awkward moment for him early in the game when it was 0-0. And Nolan is just trying to intimidate him down there. So it's a corner kick to West Ham over on the far side. 1-1 at Upton Park. In comes a corner. Travelled a long way. It cleared Hernandez's head, but Manchester United got a head on the ball. But Joe Cole was quick to react again. In possession for West Ham. Slides the ball in. Header in! Another goal from Collins! It's an action replay. Joe Cole crossing from the left. James Collins with a header, and West Ham lead 2-1.
Well, exactly almost the same as the goal. Cole the provider, Collins the scorer, Collins free, and he took full advantage of it. Cole whipped the cross in, and Collins just came onto the ball, and the ball was in the back of the net in a flash. 2-1 to West Ham. It's now up to Manchester United. Are they going to rescue this game, or will Ferguson have to make substitutions?
Well, we are having a change being made down there by West Ham. I see Jarvis is just coming on for Vastey. Well, now let's just collect our thoughts here. If you were told the script before this game that Joe Cole would have an impact crossing twice from the left-hand side and West Ham would score 2 goals in the air, I'm not sure you'd have gone for Collins to get them. You'd have probably, I don't know, Carlton Cole, maybe even Nolan. But where's James Collins come from twice to head in those goals for West Ham? Will it be enough? Manchester United, top of the Premier League, Champions League last 16, went in front, rocking a bit, may need support from the bench, and it is a considerable bench, as we've been saying. Valencia, Giggs, Young, Van Persie, but it's all West Ham noise at the moment. Bubbles floating around Upton Park. on this mild evening. And what an impact from Joe Cole. Can't do much more than this. He's made both of the goals, and we have half an hour to go. Jarvis tries to get his first touch, and it's out of play. Half an hour to go, and we are going to see Van Persie, I think, at this stage, at some point, Graham, aren't we, if it stays like this?
It certainly looks like that, and it's very interesting, you know, with Joe Cole, because everybody talks about him. He used to play centrally and off the centre. What I'm sure Sam Allardyce will like about him is that he's getting the crosses in. He's not waiting, he's not fiddling about with the ball. It's just back onto his right foot, boom, cross in. And they've been successful on more than one occasion of getting efforts at goal.
Well, although it's against Manchester United, I'll tell you who would have appreciated those crosses just from a professional point of view, and that's David Beckham, of course, who's here tonight watching and has played many times for England with Joe Cole. Let's not forget Joe Cole went to 3 World Cups with England, 2002, 2006, 2010, got that fantastic goal in Germany against Sweden, one of the goals of the tournament in a 2-2. Anyway, West Ham lead 2-1. I've been saying in the commentary, Ferguson doesn't want a replay. Well, at the moment, he needs at least a couple of goals to avoid that. And we're into the last half an hour of this third round tie. Bubbling along, if you pardon the pun here. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. West Ham have turned it round with 2 headers. James Collins, I bet he's fancying a hat-trick at the moment. What a story that would be. Joe Cole has provided the crosses for both of them. And now Kagawa. It's all being contained, though. It's deep from Manchester United. There's no real threat. There's no penetration. It's all a long, long way away from Jääskeläinen's goal. Graham making the point that neither goalkeeper have been stretched that much tonight. We've had 3 goals, though. Now it's Johnny Evans. Seems a bit uncertain, and he's lost the ball. And West Ham now look to Jarvis, but Scholes has to be careful with this challenge. He didn't need to make the challenge in the end. Played it back to De Gea. So Matt Jarvis with that one England cap last season, coming on as a sub against Ghana when he was with Wolves. Jarvis now on for Vaz-Tê. And now it's West Ham building over on the left-hand side with Carlton Cole. Well, Cole shows too much of that ball, but he's got good body strength, Carlton Cole, and good endeavour as well. And West Ham have a throw. At the moment, it's a problem for Manchester United. Alex Ferguson's obviously contemplating changes because they're not getting anything like the possession now that they were early on.
No, they're certainly not doing that. And you know, everything is lifting up for West Ham. There's no doubt about that. The atmosphere is there for the home side.
West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. Could be, I know West Ham are a Premier League team, but it would still be a major shock if Manchester United go out in the third round. On a day when Chelsea have gone through, Spurs have gone through, Manchester City have gone through, and now it's Butner chasing hard inside the West Ham half, playing from right to left. Here on 5 Live. Could be a little bit of a story about to be written. But Scholes now floats the ball forward. He's asking an awful lot of Chris Smalling. Smalling was eager, but just for once Scholes doesn't measure the pass, and he turns away with great disappointment. And there's an injury problem to Joe Cole, I think it is. Yeah. Well, it might be asking a lot for Joe Cole to put in 90 minutes here today, yeah. Graham, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the expectation, you've seen it, as I've said on a number of occasions, you've seen it in him. He's wanting to come out, wanting to produce. I don't know whether he's got a slight knock, or
maybe like me, sitting in this press box, he's got a touch of cramp, actually.
Yes.
But well, it's a much happier debut for him than he had at Liverpool, of course, when he was sent off in his first game. Never really recovered from that against Arsenal. And Joe Cole, his last match for West Ham before today was at the end of the season under Trevor Brooking when they played at Birmingham, and ironically they went down because Sam Allardyce put them down. His Bolton team had a result that day against Middlesbrough, and Sam Allardyce effectively put West Ham down, and that was the last time Joe Cole played for West Ham before he moved on to Chelsea. It's 2-1 to West Ham, and we played nearly 20 minutes of the second half. Carlton Cole again winning the ball in the air. Butner looks to see where his goalkeeper is. Jarvis is putting pressure on the left back, and Butner's very hurried clearance fired the ball straight at Demel, the right back, and it's gone out for Manchester United. There's no sign at the moment that Manchester United are going to turn this one around, and they're warming up new players down there. West Ham also have substitutes getting ready. Ball out of play, and it's a throw in to West Ham constantly looking down there to see whether, I think Valencia might be coming on in a moment for Manchester United, but first of all they've got some defending to do, so it wouldn't be a great time to make the change. Throw into West Ham. Carlton Cole just has it nicked away from him by Evans. Kagawa is struggling at the moment to make a real impact in midfield. Now it's Demel going forward for West Ham, being forced wide by the United defenders, squirts the ball in to the far post. It's gone out of play though. Now maybe the first changes. Van Persie and Valencia both coming on. I wonder whether Kagawa might be one of the players coming off. He hasn't made a great impact in this second half. So halfway point of the second half, but the changes haven't been made. The players have been brought out. It is a goal kick for United, but they're taking their time, deciding maybe finally who's going to make way. So Van Persie, who won the FA Cup with Arsenal against Manchester United, coming on for Fabregas as a substitute and scoring one of the penalties in that shootout. He's coming on in a moment to try and get Manchester United back into this game, but they're trailing 2-1, having gone in front. Valencia coming on as well. Manchester United concede another one, then surely that will be too much for them. Ball with West Ham. Juggling with it is Diarra, but he hits it straight at Butner. Diarra, of course, who played for France in the Euros last year. And now Johnny Evans once more, but it's still in the deep here for Manchester United. Not crossing the halfway line. There's a lot of pointing going on from the likes of Hernandez and Welbeck. And now running forward is Raphael. It was a good clearance though at the back from Demel from West Ham. And of course, as Manchester United go forward, they mustn't leave themselves open, but Cleverley's got it for them. Cleverley now, little reverse ball to Butner. Welbeck's waiting, and in the end it's a corner kick. Still Van Persie's desperate, you can see. He's got his arms raised, wants to come on, often takes the corners for them. And he's coming on, and the first man coming off is Hernandez. So Van Persie for Hernandez. And then Valencia coming on for Scholes. So Kagawa stays on, Scholes is removed, and so too Hernandez. Graham.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see the substitutions that are being made. They're obviously looking to get this result, there's no doubt about it. Joe Cole actually has come back onto the pitch wearing a shirt with no number on now, which I didn't think was allowed, but that's not a really serious thing.
Right,
but,
but West Ham have to concentrate here with the two new players coming on. Manchester United corner kick, and it was aimed immediately towards Van Persie at the near post. He's claiming another corner, so too is right. How can Sir Alex Ferguson see from down there? But anyway, he can
do things better than the rest of us.
Yeah. Well,
no,
I think Martin Atkinson was slightly closer to the scene, and he's the referee, of course. And it's a goal kick to West Ham. Intriguing tie now into the last quarter of the game. Jaskalainen takes his time and then clears. 2-1 to West Ham. Ball in towards Cole. Van Persie's come on. So too has Valencia. And Joe Cole now, who's made 2 goals for Collins, feeds Jarvis, and that's a nice ball from Jarvis onto Demel. Demel looking to win. He hasn't got a corner. He thought he had. So too did the fans. And now it's Sam Allardyce, presumably his turn to say, "That's a corner." It's a goal kick. De Gea to take it. But
the point about Joe Cole I was just making is that he keeps pulling this left thigh as if he just can feel it. And if I was Sam, I don't think I'd take any risks. I think I'd bring him off.
Absolutely, no need. And it's been a big emotional day for him as well as a physical day after very little action. And it's now Danny Welbeck for Manchester United. 2-1 they lead. This is a big test now for Manchester United. How much do they want to stay in the FA Cup? Cleverly looking to win a corner. He hasn't got it again there. And it's a goal kick. De Gea to take it. 6:06 coming up with Mark Chapman and Robbie Savage. Call now on 0500 909 693, especially if you're a fan of Macclesfield or Luton, who had those magnificent victories today, and of course find themselves in the 4th round of the FA Cup. First time for Macclesfield, I think. Obviously not for Luton. Remember Luton in the final in 1959 against Nottingham Forest. So West Ham looking to try and put the game beyond Manchester United. Header from Collison. Nolan for Jarvis. This is interesting now. Jarvis, of course, who like Joe Cole can really cross the ball well, and he's taking on Butler, and Carlton Cole is waiting, and it goes, diving header away from Smalling. Diarra a bit slow to react there, and that's a very nervous pass from him as well to Potts, and now Nolan pops up over on that left hand side. Lovely running from Potts, and then he just overruns it. Yeah, it's gone behind, and De Gea will have to place the ball now for a goal kick, but still not enough possession for Manchester United for them to get back into this game. 20 minutes to go.
And that was very good link-up play with Potts. A little bit unfortunate that it just ran ahead of him. but willing to come forward and make things happen.
Great respect to West Ham, of course. The likes of Chelsea, Manchester City, Tottenham will be rather hoping West Ham win this game, I think. And Manchester United, 2004, the last time they won the FA Cup. Remember, they've won it more times than anyone else. They've been in more finals than anyone else, but they're trailing here to West Ham. And now Evans. It's all just taking a little too long here from Manchester United. West Ham have got everybody back apart from Carlton Cole. West Ham marking well. They didn't when Cleverley scored early on, but they're doing so well, West Ham, pressurising, that United have to give a back pass once more to De Gea, and it eats up more time. 26 minutes gone in the second half and 5 live. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. The day began with a dramatic victory for Brighton against Newcastle. Could be ending here with Manchester United going out, as Jarvis now clears well to this near side. Van Persie's already poised on the 6-yard line, anticipating a ball into the penalty area. Throw to Manchester United. Can West Ham hang in here and take the game? Manchester United fans doing their bit now as Kagawa has the ball for them. Kagawa's ball in. Van Persie back to goal, trying to turn Collins. Van Persie, West Ham really trying to make life tight for Van Persie. His ball to Butner. Butner squirts into the far post. Oh, great leap from Welbeck, but he heads it over the bar. Got up maybe too early. Now Noble's coming on, and he's going to add some experience. Wonder whether Joe Cole might be coming off, but Noble is coming on. Great servant he's been for West Ham over the years. And no, he's coming on for Diarra. So the Frenchman Diarra, who more often than not has played in central defence in his career, has had a tidy holding midfield player role, but now he's looking a little bit tired after his first appearance, and so Mark Noble comes on to add some real bite and energy in midfield.
Yeah, and I think that would be a benefit to West Ham, because there's no doubt about it, Manchester United will continue to come and try and at least rescue this game.
Can't ask for much more than this from a neutral point of view, really, in the third round of the Cup, to get into the 27th minute of the second half and to find one of the big names in world football trailing 2-1 away from home. But with some big guns on the field, Van Persie having come on. Valencia hasn't had the ball yet, I don't think, since he came on. And they also have Ryan Giggs on the bench as well. So now, West Ham at the moment quite happy, it seems, for Manchester United to have the ball, because they're just pushing them back all the time and there's no real thrust forward. That ball towards Valencia was a very obvious pass, which was headed out by Joe Cole, who's doing all the work as well on that left-hand side. He's made both of the goals for Collins, and Manchester United seem just a little bit uncertain just at the moment. Van Persie, who can settle a game in a second, of course. Robin Van Persie, ball out of play. West Ham will be mindful of that. Valencia jumps over the advertising board over on the far side. Such is his eagerness to get the ball, and then he throws it to Smalling. So Van Persie and Welbeck are poised in the area. It's down to Kagawa. West Ham have them all back inside the area. They managed to get a foot in, and that eats away more time against the Premier League leaders, Manchester United. Throw in to them, halfway inside the West Ham half. The West Ham fans may be just a little bit nervous at the moment in anticipation of what could be about to happen here. And it's a mistake by Manchester United. That's what happened. And so West Ham have a throw-in, and Potts will take it. So exactly 15 minutes to go, Graham. 2-1.
Well, as it stands at the moment, West Ham will be pleased with this, because certainly Manchester United have not sort of picked up the game, even with the substitutions that they've made. They haven't picked up the pace of the game. They're not dominating. But we've all been in this position at a lot of times, or we've been in the position of Manchester United, and we know they're capable of coming right into the last minute.
Can't blame them from cashing in, can you? It says on the big board over there, get your Joe Cole shirt after the game from the stadium shop. Well, the shirt he's wearing at the moment hasn't got a number on it, so I hope it's not that one. That's number 26. Presumably there was blood on the other shirt. I can only assume that's why he had to get another one.
I would guess that would be the case, yeah. There's no doubt. It's just that, he kept pulling this leg up, stretching himself, and soft muscle injuries you have to be very careful with, because they can be very serious and can last a long time.
Carlton Cole now trying to turn Vidic. Vidic just takes him out of the penalty area, but the cross may still come in. At the moment, Joe Cole's going to get a piece of the headlines tomorrow with Collins if it stays like this. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1, and we're into the last 15 minutes of the game. But so many times over the years we have seen late responses from Manchester United. and the West Ham fans will know that. The best chance for West Ham here is to maybe push forward and try and finish the game off themselves. But they're inviting Manchester United onto them. Evans again a little bit uncertain in possession. Cleverly's pointing, but the ball hasn't come to him. Now it might open up here for Johnny Evans. Collins is trying to push forward from the back to catch Manchester United offside. Mustn't sit too deep here, West Ham. Comes to Butner down the left. Van Persie's poised on the edge of the area. Butner now. It doesn't work for him. He has to ride a challenge, and Noble puts great pressure on Raphael, and Manchester United are forced to go square across the field here. And just at the moment lacking a few ideas to open up the West Ham defence. But they mustn't give them too much room. Raphael now, 25 yards out. West Ham get the foot in through Noble. Lovely little drag away there. And then it's played back to Collins, who can now measure a big thumper downfield, presumably. And he does, and Carlton Cole was waiting. This time he has it taken from him in the air by Vidic. Collins has to react on the floor now. Collins, again, every time looking for Cole. Vidic comes in with a strong, clean challenge. And we have just about 13 minutes to go. Now it opens up for Valencia down the right-hand side. On a day when Macclesfield and Luton have gone through. Manchester United are having troubles here at West Ham. Valencia again apparently running out of ideas. Turns. And the cross may come in now from Van Persie. The trusted left foot. It's terrible from him. As soon as he left his foot. And so Ryan Giggs will come on. And also, I think Matty Taylor's coming on too. So another experienced player, Matt Taylor, but an even more experienced player, Ryan Giggs, comes on for Smalling. Giggs, who I think has featured in 7 FA Cup finals for Manchester United, but of course will always be remembered for that semi-final goal against Arsenal. So Joe Cole, his day is complete. We don't know yet whether he's going to finish on a winning side, but he's done his bit. They're standing around us here to salute Joe Cole's return. He's made both of the goals, and as a result of that, with Taylor coming on for Cole, as Cole applauds the West Ham fans, what a popular return. He's made both of the goals for Collins. He gets a pat on the back from the manager first, and now Taylor takes up his position for West Ham over on the left. So some very useful subs coming on here for West Ham in Taylor, Jarvis and Noble. And it's Ryan Giggs coming on for Manchester United for Smalling. So they've taken off a defender, they've brought on Giggs. First touch from Giggs, tries to release, Welbeck down the left-hand side. Demmel has to be tight here, and he was. And he clears. Noble being pushed back towards the penalty area and fouled in the end by Butner. And a free kick to West Ham. So those are all the changes made, Graham.
Yeah, both sides now completed their substitutions. I was pleased in one respect to see Joe Cole come off, because I remain convinced that he'd still got a slight strain, and it's just not worth taking a chance there. And he got a very good reception when he came off, and quite rightly so.
Well, it's worth making the point again, of course, that Joe Cole's career, as Carlton Cole heads the ball on, has nosedived a bit really since he left Chelsea. Never made it at Liverpool, went off to Lille to play football in France. So this is quite a story for him today, making 2 goals against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Both finished off from James Collins, brilliantly taken by him. He may not even get the headline though, if it may go to Joe Cole. And West Ham now look to try and hold on to what they have here with 10 minutes to go. Sir Alex Ferguson stands as near to the pitch as he can, and that's all he needs to do really. The message is clear: get back in this game. Manchester United, when the ball comes down, don't compete for it, and now cleverly tries to turn away from Taylor in midfield, and in comes a strong challenge from Noble, and West Ham just have to hang on here, but they know with the likes of Van Persie and Valencia and Giggs and Welbeck, there could still be troubles ahead. 10 minutes to go. Kagawa now. Valencia, you could see, just desperate for that to come his way. Raphael's now gone to right back following Giggs coming on. Now it's Kagawa. West Ham backing off dangerously. Kagawa's ball played in from Valencia. It's going to be a corner kick for Manchester United, and Van Persie's quickly on the spot to take it.
Yeah, we've seen this so often, haven't we? Coming into the last 10 minutes of the game, Manchester United upping the gear, coming into the game, and in this last couple of minutes they have done that.
They're trailing by 2 goals to 1. Vidic and Evans, the centre-backs, have both gone forward. Van Persie takes a big, deep corner. West Ham look to clear. Now, really, Demmel should have headed that out of the penalty area. but he got it all wrong, and he's just conceded another corner down this near side. So that was a fairly sloppy effort from the right back, and nobody has picked up Butner following the corner. Butner's driven ball in, well headed away by Carlton Cole. Comes out to Valencia. Anxious moments for the West Ham fans, getting closer to a great win, but still a lot to do. Valencia doesn't get his initial cross in, but still keeps possession. Now the ball comes in, header from Vidic, and that's gone well wide. And that's a goal kick. And still Jääskeläinen, Graham, hasn't had to make many saves.
No, he hasn't. In fact, it's very hard to think of one that he's had to make. Certainly at the moment he's taking his time, as one would expect, but the referee will be adding on. You know, the length of time they start to take goal kicks. I'm not so certain about that, because I think sometimes the referee can add on a little bit more time than it's actually taken you.
A day that began on the south coast with Brighton beating Newcastle 2-0 could be ending here at Upton Park with what would be a famous win for West Ham against Manchester United. Jarvis now finds Taylor, early ball in, took a deflection and drops to De Gea in the Manchester United goal. And in between all that, of course, great achievement from Macclesfield beating Cardiff, and Luton knocking out Wolves. Chelsea, the holders, are through. Manchester City are through, but Manchester United, the Premier League leaders, at the moment of going out, it's Kevin Nolan of West Ham, and that's given away. And then he falls flat on his back, and West Ham have to keep better possession than that. 8 minutes to go. There will, of course, be 2 or 3 minutes of time to be added on, so still plenty of time, still plenty of Fergie time. 2-1 to West Ham on 5 Live with 6:06 approaching. Butner infield to Cleverley. Again, it's been well contained though by West Ham, filling most of the gaps, and again the man coming forward is Evans, who sometimes seems a little bit uncertain in possession. Rafael finally to Valencia. It's very slow movement there from Manchester United. The obvious pass was to Valencia earlier on, and now Cole doing really well to ride a couple of challenges. And now can West Ham break with purpose? Jarvis down the left, taking on Vidic. Jarvis allowed to run a long way with the ball, goes to the dead ball line. There's nobody in the penalty area yet. Still Jarvis doing well for his team. Vidic goes clumsily in and then fires the ball into the crowd and gets a yellow card, and that was complete frustration by the Manchester United captain.
Frustration, stupidity, I would call that, because at the end of the day you foul the man and then you rifle it into a crowd of people. How do you know that somebody's not going to get smacked right Absolutely. In the face with that? I mean, it really deserves a yellow card or more.
Well, it was thoughtless, really, yes. And let's hope that didn't go into anybody's face over on the far side. But now, as a result of that, could West Ham prosper and effectively win the game, or rather finish the game off? They are winning this game by 2-1. Free kick is taken. Nolan looking for the flick on. Carlton Cole dangles a letter. Shot. Oh, Collison hit that really too well, almost into that top tier behind De Gea's goal. Just lacked a bit of control there, the Welshman. And it's a goal kick for Manchester United, but we have just over 6 minutes of normal time to go. 2-1 to West Ham.
And as we all know, said it so often, seen it so often, Manchester United capable of rescuing games right to the last minute. And West Ham will be aware of that. They know they've got to keep their concentration right to the end of this game.
Really looking to see at the moment how much Manchester United want this. That's, I think, a key thing as well, because just from the perspective here, there doesn't seem to be a great deal of urgency. They're not really putting too much at West Ham's goal. They are going out of the FA Cup. How much do they want to stay in the FA Cup? Evans, again, he's the man that West Ham are quite happy, I think, that Evans has the ball a lot of the time, crossing the halfway line. Mistake from Kagawa. It's all there for West Ham now to finish this one off. Noble back to Tompkins for Collins, the goal scorer, both of the goals, and then a wasted pass from him. Welbeck doesn't keep it in, and West Ham now from the halfway line. Taylor, close to using his arm, used his chest. Demel now, near side. Good return ball. Noble, good professional, knows what he's about, just winding down the clock here by the corner flag. Demel again, putting pressure on Butner. Butner may clear this one, and Giggs is waiting for it. Again, the initial movement from Manchester United, though, is slow, and time is now not on their side. Last 5 minutes of normal time. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. It may open up now for Giggs. Giggs, nobody really helping him. Welbeck from a position near side. It's Sam Allardyce who's the manager now nearest the pitch. Sir Alex Ferguson is sitting down and watching whatever will unfold here right at the end. Looking to Valencia to try and get a ball into Robin van Persie. Valencia jumps a couple of challenges and then a really wretched ball in from the right-hand side. Van Persie was at the near post. Not sure who Valencia was aiming at there, and it's gone behind. If you're just joining us, by the way, Graham Taylor's with us here today. Joe Cole has made both of the West Ham goals. They came from behind, they lead 2-1, and both of the goals were headed in by Collins.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here is, since Van Persie has come on, we spoke about, you know, the strength of the bench. I think he's only probably touched the ball 3 or 4 times at the most. And that has surprised me. It's a dangerous thing saying that, because sometimes a player of his capability only has to touch it once and it's in the back of the net. But he certainly hasn't had the effect on the game that I thought he would have.
Well, by their own high standards, Manchester United at the moment are not doing well in the FA Cup. And remember, they made that controversial decision in 2000 not to defend the trophy, and did the FA Cup really at the time a lot of damage when they went off to play in that World Club Championship and didn't defend the FA Cup they won in their treble season. And then since then they've just had that one victory over Millwall, and many of their players, as now they come forward, including Wayne Rooney, have never won the FA Cup, including Rio Ferdinand, but they're going out here in the third round unless they can buck up their ideas. Ball played into the West Ham area. Taylor got his head to it. Button is there, the left back of Manchester United, into Robin van Persie, trying to wriggle away from Demmel's challenge. West Ham putting great pressure on the Dutchman, and now it's Mark Noble. Not much on for him. He's brought the ball to this near touchline, and then he fires the ball right across the field. Taylor will get this, and Evans is going to try and hold him up. Carlton Cole's in the penalty area. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. 2.5 minutes of normal time to go. And Tompkins back inside the West Ham half. Flicked header from Taylor. It was a brilliant header, and it finds Jarvis, and Taylor wants the return from Jarvis. Jarvis now with his left foot into the area. Noble heads the ball down. It may run a goal. Oh, it's just gone wide of the post. It's just gone wide. There was just enough pressure there from De Gea just to put Carlton Cole off his tracks.
What a chance for West Ham to put this game to bed there. It comes in, it's headed back across the face of the goal, and the goalkeeper, to be fair to him, just puts him off.
Well, with a minute and a half to go, the man of the match is declared as James Collins. I mean, it would have been harsh, wouldn't it, really, to deny the big rugged defender the man. I know Joe Cole, it's a really good story, but Collins, the defender, and they weren't, the thing is, they weren't set pieces either, Graham. They were an open play goals, both of them. Yeah. So don't run away with the idea that Collins just got his head on 2 corners or through kicks. From open play, Joe Cole crossed twice from the left, and Collins was there with really good, powerful headers. And now Carlton Cole making life difficult for Vidic, who can only clear as far as Jarvis. And now Potts, who's had a really good game at left back. Potts taking the ball towards the corner flag, the 19-year-old. Very frustrating for Valencia and co, and in the end it goes away for Manchester United, and we have a minute of normal time to go, probably 3 minutes of added time. 2 managers who are good buddies, side by side down there. Sir Alex to the left, Sam Allardyce to the right, and at the moment Sam Allardyce is going to come out on top. Hasn't got a great record in the FA Cup, Sam Allardyce. Wasn't always a huge priority for him at Bolton, but this is a great day for his team if they can hang on. Again, it's Johnny Evans being allowed to bring the ball forward. West Ham happy to see him in possession, maybe not so cleverly, with the West Ham players backing off. On to Raphael. We've got 30 seconds of normal time to go. In comes a cross, and Giggs has headed it wide and over. It was a difficult chance. It was played in from the right-hand side, and probably not Ryan Giggs' forte, obviously, the far post in the air. And Sir Alex Ferguson now is pointing to his stopwatch, his clock rather, or however many he's wearing down there, because Jussi Jääskeläinen has the temerity to take a bit of time, 4 minutes of added time, over this clearance. And I tell you, David De Gea in the same situation will be doing exactly the same. Now it's Ryan Giggs. 4 minutes of added time. Ball into Van Persie. Great take from Van Persie, and Van Persie has equalised. What a finish from the Dutchman. Slides the ball beyond De Gea. It was a perfect pass from Ryan Giggs. It was the first touch from Van Persie which really made it possible. He runs to the Manchester United fans. Sir Alex Ferguson might not have wanted a replay at the start. He'll take it now. If it happens, it's 2-2.
And there is that effect we were talking about. Hadn't seen Van Persie in it, but you always know that there is a chance. A quality player. 40-yard pass, 40-yard diagonal pass by Giggs, and his take with it on his left foot to start with was perfection, because it rolled him into his natural stride. It didn't take him out of it, and he just then dispatched the ball, and you knew it was going to be the equaliser. Typical Manchester United, typical Van Persie.
And he doesn't want the replay because the message from Sir Alex Ferguson is go forward. Now, not sit on what you've got. He was just gesturing there to look, clapping his hands, and wants the team to go forward and try and win the game. But now they may have to do some defending. Evans is there. West Ham 2, Manchester United 2. We played a minute and a half of the 4 minutes of added time at Upton Park. West Ham so close to putting Manchester United out, but how many times? It's one of the game's cliches now that Manchester United always seem to have a late sting, and Van Persie's once more the man. What an accomplished and sweet finish it was, but even better was the ball from Giggs. Now the Manchester United fans celebrate away to our left in that Sir Drivet booking stand. Still time for them to maybe win the game as they go forward. There's a little spin on the ball, and Kaggle has got it, and it travelled right through the penalty area. Sir Alex Ferguson's frustrated that nobody's chased to try and win it back again down the left-hand side. And West Ham now, it's their turn to hang on a little bit as Noble gives the ball back to Jääskeläinen. The goal coming just after Jääskeläinen was just taking a bit of time over the clearance. De Gea's got it. 2.5 minutes played of the added 4. Looks like a replay the week after next between these two. Last time at Upton Park in the FA Cup, it was a draw, and West Ham won the replay. So who knows? Manchester United with Vidic. One more chance maybe for either of these two. Just over a minute of added time. 2-2 as now Kagawa tries to release cleverly, and Collins is there. Well, he's the man of the match from a West Ham point of view, Collins, but he looks like he's not going to be a winning man of the match now. Manchester United went in front, West Ham overturned it, led 2-1, and now Van Persie, coming on as a substitute, has finished magnificently, feeding off a long pass from Giggs. Sir Alex Ferguson points, Mike Phelan points as well, and Butner's gone forward, and it's Butner for Manchester United. Important challenge from Collins, but it's a corner for United. Manchester United with 40 seconds to go. Can they finish the game now without a replay? Van Persie doesn't take the corner. It's going to be Giggs to take it, and everybody's gone forward. In comes the corner kick, and Carlton Cole wins the header at the near post, but it comes back to Giggs once more. Ryan Giggs for Manchester United, travelled a long way, not cleared yet. Shot driven in, and now a chance for Valencia. Oh, Valencia's ballooned that ball into the top tier over on the far side, and that might be it, I think, with 5 seconds to go. But it's been a good, rousing, spirited third round tie.
Well, it has, and once again, Mike, are we surprised that Manchester United have come back and equalised in that last week? I don't think so. I mean, I'd said earlier about how little influence Van Persie had on the game since he'd been in, but then he comes and actually puts them back into the game. It's typical Manchester United, this.
Martin Atkinson looks at his watch, and that is it, right on time at the end of the 4 minutes. They will have to meet again. Looks like it could well be the pick of the replays. West Ham thought they had this one under their control. The two-headed goals from Collins, both manufactured by Joe Cole on his debut, after cleverly had given Manchester United an early lead. But the man, Robin Van Persie, was there when it mattered to make it 2-2. And a final quick thought from Graham Taylor.
Well, I think most people will be looking for Manchester United to go through in the replay. We shall have to wait and see, but obviously now they are the favourites.
Thank you, Graham. A really good ending to this first part of the third round. More to come, of course, tomorrow on 5 Live. But the final score here at Upton Park, West Ham thought they had it. It was just taken away from them at the end. West Ham 2, Manchester United 2, And now let's go to Mark Chapman for this evening's 606.
Thank you very much, my guest.